Hey, y'all. We're going to allow some people to come on in the room. I am super excited about this live tonight. Good afternoon. Good evening. Hey. Welcome. How is everybody doing? Hey, Nicole. Hey, Miss Growth Coach, how are you? Hey, the K-Lab, how are you? Hey, is it Mercedes? How are you? Welcome. All right, ladies, so as you come in, thank you so much. As you come in, go ahead and share this live with any of your friends, your cousins, your sisters, anybody that you know that is interested in starting a business, that is interested in making more money in 2022. Go ahead and share this live. They need to be in the room because we have a very special guest that is going live with us tonight. And I'm going to allow her to introduce herself and tell y'all all about what she does and how we are going to help you and give you some information and some tools and some gems on how you can generate more income in 2022. So I'm super excited about tonight's live. For those that don't know who I am, my name is Shanice Royal, also known as Coach Royal. I am a minister, I'm a mother, I'm a wife. I'm also a certified life coach. I train and certify other coaches. I help women of empowerment shift from being just the woman of empowerment to actually starting life coaching businesses. So if you are interested in becoming a certified life coach, tomorrow our free webinar is happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not already grabbed your spot, make sure that you grab your seat before it's too late. It is happening tomorrow night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow night is our free webinar for those who are interested in becoming certified life coaches, okay? So we are just waiting for Annalisa to come in the room. I'm not sure if she's in here just yet. But I'm super excited about this live. Hey, Brianna girl. Hey, welcome. Hey, Bing Sam. How are you? How y'all doing? So I'm excited today, y'all. I had a content day. I had 2 content days. Yesterday was photography. Today was videography. So I have a lot in store for y'all. I have a lot of content coming y'all way, and I'm just been grinding it out. So there she is. Okay, let's see if I can get her in here. Hold on.
Hello.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm going to send this live to a few people so they can join us.
Okay, perfect. And I'll do the same. So if you guys are just joining, go ahead and share this live. Share. And get some people in this room that is ready to make more money in 2022. Y'all don't want to let y'all friends miss out on this, and y'all was the only one getting this type of information. Because if you're a real friend, you want to make sure that you and all your girls get to the bag, okay? So we have a lot in store for you guys. I'm super excited about this live. I'm excited to have you here, girl. And I know that this is going to be so good.
Yes, I'm here for it.
Yes. All right. So, well, before we get into everything, just introduce yourself and let the people know what you do. And then I'm going to tell them about my experience with you as well.
All right. So my name is Annalisa, also known as Just Annalisa, here on Instagram and Twitter. And I'm the owner. I do a lot of stuff, but I think people mostly know me for being within the virtual assistant space. So I have a virtual assistant and social media management agency called Elevated Assist, and we work with small business owners and help them take some things off their plate and manage things in the background. I also teach people as a virtual assistant coach to make 4 to 5 figures a month as a virtual assistant and or a social media manager.
I love that. And y'all, I went through Annalisa to actually get my virtual assistant, and my virtual assistant is the bomb. So she definitely trains very good virtual assistants. I was bragging about my virtual assistant today. So I loved the experience that I had with my assistant, and whatever you teaching them over there, it is definitely working. So I just have to give you your flowers while you're on here. And thank you for pairing me with a really great VA. I really appreciate it.
I love it. I love it. I see we have some people coming in here. If you're in my virtual assistant program, let me know in the chat. Let's put some hearts. Let us know who's in the room. Hey, Anna, how are you?
Hey, everybody. So for those that's coming in the room that don't know who I am, my name is Shanice Royal, also known as Coach Royal. I train and certify life coaches. And just like Annalisa, we have a community over here of life coaches that are starting out in the life coaching business, that wants to build a business that also certifies them and also kind of puts them in a place where they're building purpose and profitability. So I really, really love life coaching. I love impacting the lives of other people. And we really help women of empowerment start their coaching businesses literally from scratch and build their businesses from the ground up. So tonight we want to talk about how we can make more income in 2022. How are we going to generate more income? I've been saying that this year is my year, my coach's years of greater impact and greater income. And that's just been my motto for this year. I'm making more impact. I'm impacting the lives of more people, but I am also going to be generating the most income that I have ever made in my business. And I think that tonight we want to just set the tone for how we can make more money, how we can make greater impact, and, you know, really just walk in the fullness of who we are as women, as bossed up women. And I love to see our women have these conversations about money without fear, without being afraid to say, like, I'm going to make more money. I'm going to generate more income. And I want us to be able to boldly rest in that. So I think that having this conversation is so necessary, even though we do separate things, but for us to be able to wholeheartedly and confidently say, like, I'm going to make more money in 2022. If you know you're going to make more money in 2022, just drop some money bags in the comments for us, because we making more money in 2022. So we got some questions and we're going to chit chat. But what would you say is some of the moves that is necessary to make in 2022 for us to really get to the bag and make more income this year?
Absolutely. And I love that you said that, because my word for the year is expansion. So through expansion, I plan on making the most money that I've ever seen this year as of yet. So I think more than anything, you all need more than one stream of income. Let's start there, because I think a lot of people think that they can't do multiple things and they can't dabble and to be able to have multiple streams of income. So if you are on this live right now and you only have one stream of income, I encourage you to branch out and figure out what that additional stream would be for you.
Right.
If you feel like you may not be an entrepreneur, there are still other ways to grow your money. There are other ways to make money. And I think now more than ever, I don't want to say it's the easiest, but you do have access to opportunities where you can make more money for things that you really like to do. People are willing to pay for. So I hope that you all receive what she mentioned about making more money this year, because I think everyone on this live is on this live for a reason. So I hope you're taking notes and you receive that message.
Yes, and I love that. I think somebody just mentioned, like, getting out of that mindset of living paycheck to paycheck. And I kind of grew up with my mom living paycheck to paycheck, and everybody in my family living paycheck to paycheck. And I just determined in my mind that that's not the lifestyle that I want to live. Like, I don't want to. I used to always say, I don't like when my money doesn't meet. Like, I don't like when my money from 2 weeks ago don't meet my money for the next week. Like, I need my checks to meet in between. And we have such an amazing opportunity to generate multiple streams. And we are multifaceted women. God hasn't just given us one gift. And sometimes we put all of our eggs into one basket and think that I can only make money on my one job, or I can only use this one gift to generate income. But God has given us so many gifts. And what he has allowed me to do is to transform these gifts into streams of revenue, transform these gifts into things that's not just purposeful but profitable, and been able to teach us how to be profitable and using our gifts. So I think we all need to take a moment to analyze, what are our gifts? What are the gifts that we have? What are these gifts that God has already given us? What are the things that God has already put on the inside of us that we can use, that we can tap into right now? Like, there are some skill sets that you guys have. There are some gifts that God has already given you that you ain't got to search outside of you to find, but they're already on the inside of you, and you can just tap into the well of gifts that God has already put in you. I'm sorry, y'all, for y'all that don't know, I'm a preacher too, so I'm gonna give y'all a word, but I'm also gonna give y'all strategy, okay? So just in case you new here, you don't understand, but I'm a preacher too, okay? But God has given us so many gifts, and we have to be able to transform these gifts into streams of income and turn our passions into paychecks, and give yourself permission to have multiple paychecks. You don't need just one paycheck. One paycheck ain't gonna sustain you, and you don't have to dumb down the lifestyle that you want to live. You just need to get to the bag and get more money. Like, you need to get more money. Don't downplay the lifestyle that you want to live. If you want to live an amazing lifestyle, go for it. Go for it, but put yourself in a position to make more income. So I know you preach that all the time, and I love that. Like, no, get more money.
I see these comments coming in. Thank you. I think Oge said he's had a virtual assistant with Elevated Assist, and it helped him. So I want to mention a comment that you said about living the life that you want. So recently I did a video on TikTok, and out of nowhere it went crazy. And people, honestly, most of the women on there agreed with me. It was a few guys on there where I received negative comments. And what I said, I was talking about me. I specifically said that $1,000 a year, or 6 figures a year, $100,000 a year, was not enough for the life I want to live.
Right.
People on this chat need to understand what you want your life to look like. You may not want the same things that I want out of my life, but you need to figure out what that looks like, and don't think a number is too big for you.
Come on.
Don't let somebody else's life or how they feel about their life, don't let them project those thoughts on you. If you want to make $100,000 a month, $100,000 a year, whatever that number is for you, you have to believe that you can do that. So we talked a little bit about mindset on there, but that's where it starts. That is literally where it starts.
Yeah.
How you feel about yourself, the things you want to do, the things you visualize for yourself, that's where it starts. So when we talk about having additional streams of income, and you're not where you want to be, and you want to become a life coach, become a virtual assistant, you need to be able to shift your mind to believe that you can actually do that and make it profitable.
And one of the things that I always tell my clients, because in my coaching business, we're also a faith-based coaching business, and we deal with your mindset, we deal with building your faith, we deal with building your lifestyle, but also helping you build your coaching business. And one of the things that I always encourage my clients about is that God is not intimidated by your number. Whatever number you say, God, this is how much I want to make in my business. I want my business to be $1 billion business. I want my business, I want to be a mogul. I want to have all of these streams of income. I want to be an asset, not just an asset in wisdom, but I also want to be a financial resource, to be able to make different moves. Like, we really, when we talk about increasing our impact, if we really want to increase our impact, a lot of the time the impact that we want to make requires income. So you can't be afraid to make money if you're saying that I want to be impactful in my community. I want to change my community. I want to do different things in my community. Who's going to pay for it? How are you going to do these things if you're afraid to make money? So I realized that God isn't intimidated by the number that I give him that I want to make in my business. And why is it okay for everybody else to make millions while I just sit on my hands and say, well, I should only settle for 100,000? Like, 100,000 is probably just good enough for me and my daughter and my husband, but it's not good enough for me to make the type of impact that I really want to make in the world. So we have other passions and other gifts and other things and other causes that God has called us to that's bigger than just your household. So if you are only looking to just benefit your household, that's selfish. And it's selfish to say, I just want to make just enough money to benefit my household. No, I want to make enough money to change my whole community. I want to make enough enough money where I'm able to put the money where my mouth is and say, well, this is what I want to see happen. I want to build these different type of programs in my community where it changes my community, but you need money to do it. So we can't be afraid about making money. We can't be afraid about telling God how much money we want to make, because God is not intimidated by the number. Like, he's not intimidated by the number at all. And sometimes we have this mindset of, I gotta be so humble that I can't call the number out. Like, humility it's not the same thing as walking boldly in your faith and being able to say, no, God, I want to make $1 million this year, and this is what I want to be able to do with it, and this is why I want to be able to do that. God is not intimidated by that, but sometimes we get a little bit intimidated or afraid and feel like we can't call the number out. And it's mainly because of what other people suggest, and people projecting their fears, and people projecting their issues on us to make us think that we're not good enough to achieve that.
Absolutely. And I'm glad you said that about people, because if people have joined my live before, I always tell you, sometimes you have to cut people off.
Yeah.
You have to be okay with cutting people off when they don't see your vision and they're not going in the same direction as you. Mm-hmm. Somebody always tells me that sometimes people are in your life for a certain season. Yeah. And when people used to tell me that, I did not receive that. Like, you always have this person in your life forever. Mm-hmm. But first of all, you shouldn't be in the same position you were last year. If you're in the position you were last year, then you did not grow at all.
Right.
And if you didn't grow at all, you're wasting everybody's time.
Mm-hmm.
You're wasting everyone's time. Anybody before you that may no longer be here, you're wasting their time because they didn't have an opportunity to reach their goals. And now you're here, no growth, not achieving your goals, saying you have New Year resolutions, and not doing anything with the information that's being provided to you.
Come on.
So some of you are on this live for a reason. So I need for you all to really, really tap in and figure out what you want your life to look like. So let me put it into perspective for you, because I don't think you all understand. Because when we throw out numbers sometimes, I think people think, oh, all they talk about is money. Mm-hmm. But like you said, you need resources to make a real impact.
Right.
I'd be selfish if I never came out with my program. Somebody encouraged me to come out with my program. Because I was a virtual assistant. Mm-hmm. I was with my clients, making money with my clients. And then, I don't know if Andre Hatchett is still on here, but he was one of my clients, and he was like, you should come out with a course, a program of some sort to teach other people how to be virtual assistants. Fast forward, I've taught over, and I came out with it last January. Fast forward, I've taught over 1,500 people how to start their virtual assistant business. If I would have kept that to myself, I would have been selfish.
Come on.
So people made that investment, a small investment at that, to change their lives. So you have to figure out, one, like we said, to make money, to be able to make an impact, you need money, but also to get where you need to, you sometimes have to make an investment.
Right.
And that investment may be very, very small compared to where you want to be. Right. So if you're talking and thinking in your head, I want to have a seven-figure business or even a six-figure business, and think that no money needs to be invested, that you don't have to do anything to make that money, you have to make some sort of sacrifice, whether time or your money. So again, as you are on this live thinking you want to tap in to become a life coach, a virtual assistant, figure out what sacrifice that's going to look like. Mm-hmm. What friends you're going to cut off, how much money right now you're willing to invest to take your life to the next level.
Yeah, and that's so good that you said that, because the same process happened with me. I was just a life coach, and in working with my clients, I started realizing that I was being sent women in leadership. And by the time I would get done coaching them, at the end of the program, they would always ask me, well, how do I become a life coach? How do I do what you're doing? And I'm like, okay, I'm guessing that's what everybody wants from me. And ended up launching my life coaching training program. And in launching that program, we've certified 98 coaches just last year. But even doing that and walking in that level of purpose, and certifying those coaches, we have seen coaches literally go from 0 to 100, like generating so much income. And just imagine if either myself or you never stepped up to the plate, never stepped up in position, never invested in ourselves to become who we are, all of these other people wouldn't have an opportunity to do what it is that they're doing now. You have clients hitting 6 figures and making more income than they were making on their job. I've had clients that went from literally zero, not having a job at all, to generating thousands of dollars a week, thousands of dollars a month, because they made the investment in themselves. And to be honest, becoming a life coach was the first time I really even invested in myself. Like, it was the first time I spent my own money and said, okay, well, I'm going to take this money and invest in myself and do something for myself. And it literally has paid me back 100-fold. Like, it's paid me back 100-fold. But you can't be afraid to invest in you. You can't be afraid to put your money where your mouth is. And sometimes we allow people around us to talk us out of it. Many people told me, girl, that's too much money to pay for this program, or, you know, that's too much money, girl, you should just do this. And I would have still been stuck on my job, doing something that I did not love, crying, depressed every night, asking God, please, you know, get me out of here. I know it's more to my life. And I would still been in that position had I listened to everybody around me that was telling me that it was too much and it, you know, it was just too much to do. But you can't be afraid to make that investment in you. You can't be afraid and allow the opinions and the suggestions of other people to hold you back. You really just got to start stepping out into what you want. I always say, this year is about becoming for me. And it's about becoming that woman that I see in my dreams. That's why you'll see me dressed up all the time. You just see the way I show up. It's totally different now than the way I was showing up a year ago, because for me, it's all about becoming. It's about who I'm becoming. And I want to show up as that. Just this week, I gave away about 6 bags of clothes, because them clothes didn't serve who I was becoming. Everything in my life has to,
I love it,
y'all. Everything in my life has to line up with who I am becoming. So when you see that version of you in your mind of who you want to become and how you want to show up in the world, what does that look like? What type of investments is she making in herself? Like, what type of books is she reading? What type of people is she hanging around? What type of conversations is she having? Is she on the phone gossiping, or is she on the phone talking about strategies? Is she around people that's talking about what the next person is doing? Is she around people that's watching everything on the Shade Room? Or is she in a masterclass? Is she in a webinar? What is she doing? Start thinking about that version of you that you want to become, and think about the actions that you are making right now in your life. Does it line up? And if it doesn't line up, sis, you need to start making some shifts. You need to start doing some things. If it's throwing out those old clothes, if it's getting rid of those old relationships, if it's disconnecting from certain people, if it's turning off the music and turning on some podcasts, whatever it is that you have to do, start making the moves that align with the version of you that you see in your dreams, because God didn't give you the dreams for no reason. Absolutely. It is literally a visual of who you can become if you apply the actions. So sometimes we think that these versions of us that we see in our mind is just a dream. It ain't just a dream. It's a glimpse that God is able to do it. But you just got to take the necessary steps to get it done, okay?
Into it. And when people do that, they have to understand they're going through a transformation. So that means that means getting rid of the old and becoming who you want to become. So when you do that transformation and you're becoming someone new, you have to cut something off. You have to get rid of something. It's a part of the process. And just in response to people saying, oh, well, that costs too much, I won't be able to afford it, I need people to really tap in, because I don't think they truly understand the results you can receive with some of these programs that you enroll into. You have to ask yourself, how much is your freedom? Because right now you're either probably being a slave to a 9-to-5 that you may like. You're being a slave to a life that you don't like. So what is your freedom cost? Being able to have the flexibility to make money and do things you want to do, you have to figure out what that price tag is. What is your transformation going to look like? But you're going to have to sacrifice something. Something's going to have to give.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Absolutely. My sister said transformation is painful but worth it. Very much so. And we're not even saying it as if these are easy decisions to make, because they're not. It's not easy decisions to make, but they're necessary decisions. And sometimes these decisions are made out of discipline and discipline alone. I don't always want to get up and show up, but they're made out of discipline. And it really all boils down to what you desire. And if what you desire is more important than where you are, the decision is going to be made regardless. Like, what I desire, the life that I want to live, the impact that I want to make, the legacy that I want to leave behind is so much more important than what I'm existing in right now. I have to make the decisions. Like, there's no other choice. My lineage depends on the decisions that I make right now. So we have to just get to that place where the things that we truly desire in life is way more important than what we're doing right now and what we're existing in right now. And even if you don't feel like making the decisions get made because you're operating out of discipline and not just out of what you feel like. And sometimes God will put you in a position where it's so much bigger than what you feel like doing. And we got to stop operating out of what we feel like and what feels good, because it ain't promised to feel good all the time. It ain't promised to feel the way that you want it to feel all the time. It's going to take some work to put the coaching program together. It's going to take the work to build your clientele as a virtual assistant. It takes work, but it's necessary work, and it positions you. It puts you in a completely different position where you're able to make decisions in a totally different way. The freedom is unmatched. For both the virtual assistant and the life coaching industry, the freedom is unmatched. Talk to them about the freedom. Talk to them about the freedom.
What is that price for you? Like, what are you willing to pay knowing that freedom, the possibility of freedom could be on the other side? Meaning literally just having the flexibility just to have more income to do what you want to do. To be able to go into a store and like something and to be able to buy it. And that whole mental transformation going from, I'm browsing the web, looking at things I like, to actually just being able to walk in the store and get anything you want. Like, is that the life that you want for yourself? Or do you want to continue to scroll Instagram and look at other people's lives and say, oh, that's goals, I want to live like them? Like, at what point do you want that? Do you want that so bad for yourself that you take the initiative to do what needs to be done? Because getting in that process of becoming an entrepreneur, whether you want to have a business and continue to have your 9-to-5, again, it's that sacrificing time. What does that look like for you all? And I also want to put it into perspective for you all, because for me, I'm so grateful that I've been able to grow very, very quickly. But having your first 5-figure month, having a first 5-figure day, I'm no different than anybody else on this webinar. The only difference is that I did not quit. I continue to research and I continue to become better every single day. That is the only difference. Anybody can do what I can do. If you want more income for yourself, then start today. Start immediately when you get off this webinar. Figure out what you want that business to look like. All the information's out there.
Yeah.
Whether you want to make that investment or not, or you want to take time searching for all that information or have it packaged up for you. But the life that you want to live is on the other side of that fear that you have. Right? And fear is normal. I just want people to know out there are entrepreneurs, Shanice, I'm sure you still get nervous, get afraid. Like, those are normal emotions.
Yeah.
So once you all accept that you're going to be fearful and you're going to do all this stuff afraid, and it's just going to happen, that's when you'll be able to really position yourself and get to where you want to get to. Yeah. But for me, I needed flexibility. So having my virtual assistant business, having my agency, having my program, and being able to make money that way is just game changing. Like, there's certain stuff I just don't do because I don't have to. I have a flexibility in my life where I can really create the life that I want, and I'm living what I said I was going to do years ago. So
I love that, and I love the freedom aspect, because it really puts you in position to move how you really want to move and not have nobody have charge over your life. But I really want to put this in perspective for people that's saying, like, okay, maybe I can't do this. You guys are already there. You're doing, what you're doing, but the time that I'm in, I can't do it. I started this while I was still on my 9-to-5, and I was working my 9-to-5, and I was coaching part-time. I was coaching my clients from about 6:30 to 9 o'clock. I would take about 2 clients in the evenings, and I would still work my 9-to-5 in the mornings. So I would work my 9-to-5 in the mornings, and I would cry driving to that job. I would cry. I worked as a manager in the call center, and the crazy part is, I'm gonna give y'all a word real quick, because listen, the crazy part is we always think that our purpose is a specific destination that we have to get to, and the truth is that purpose is not a destination. Purpose is your journey. So while I was crying on my way to work, like, God, I really don't want to work at this job, and I'm just tired. I feel like I'm doing the same thing over and over, and it doesn't feel purposeful for me. For me, I'm the type of person where my work has to feel purposeful. It has to feel like there's a cause behind what I'm doing. So I would cry every day, like, God, I don't want to do this anymore. And even my husband told me, if you want to leave, just leave. But I'm very prayerful. I'm a very prayerful person. And if God doesn't give me the green light, I won't move. And I'm like, well, God hasn't given me the green light to leave this job. So I'm just going to stay on this job. And I stayed on this job, y'all. And I worked in the mornings and I took my clients in the evenings, and I did that for about a year, and I just kept grinding it out, working on my business. I had to work every single Saturday for about 4.5 years. I was working every single Saturday. Never had a Saturday to myself. Was always at these people's job on Saturday, and on Saturdays I would bring my laptop and I work on my business every Saturday. I'm on these people's job. The managers wasn't there on Saturdays, so I would work on my business while I was helping them out on Saturdays. And I would build my business while on my job, building it up, not knowing that God already had a greater plan for me. Even though I was frustrated where I was, he said, just enjoy the journey, just enjoy the process, just go through the process, because what I have on the other side is so much bigger. And in the timing that God allowed me to walk off of this job, I didn't have to quit. I didn't have to have bad blood with anybody. Like, the job ended up closing down, and it was literally the first time that I hit my first $10,000 in revenue. And I had hit my $10,000 in revenue for the first time. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm still at this job, but I done made my first $10,000. What do I do? The job called me and said that they're closing down, and they offered me another position. And I was just like, at this point, y'all, I'm good. Like, give the position to somebody else that really needs it. And ever since then, y'all, I have not wanted for anything in my business. And God has sustained and increased my business ever since then. So for the person that feels frustrated where you are, and you feel like, man, I'm on this job or whatever, I just feel tired, you don't have to leave the job. And don't allow anybody to convince you to just up and walk off of your job and be put in a position where you don't have financial resources, you don't have anything to take care of your family, because you just up and quit the job. I was at a job that I did not enjoy, but at the same time, I was building the vision that God had given me while I was still in that process. And even though in my mind, I felt like purpose was me getting off the job, God said purpose is you still building it out while you're still at the job. And I built that thing out until God finally gave me the permission to leave. And when he gave me the permission to leave, I had a savings where I didn't ever have to worry about how my bills were going to be paid. My money was, just doubling and doubling and like, I didn't have to worry about anything. So if you feel like you're in a position where you're saying, well, I'm not where you guys are right now, and I just feel frustrated because I'm on this job and I don't know how to move, make the investment while you're still on the job. Make the investment, build the business while you're still on the job. Like, grind it out while you're still on the job. Yes, work in the mornings, take your clients in the evenings. Whatever you got to do, structure your schedule where you're able to build it up while you're still there, so that when you leave comfortable, you leave not having to worry about your bills, you leave with your family set. Like, put a plan of escape together. I always tell my clients to put your escape plan together. Put the escape plan together, that by this time, this is the time that I'm going to leave, but this is how much money I'm going to have saved up. This is the investments that I'm going to make. Listen, this is how much the life coach program costs. This is how much the virtual assistant program costs. I'm going to put this money aside so that I can invest in that. And by the time I'm done investing in that, I can start my business while I'm still on the job. We ain't telling you to leave your job today. We telling you to start while you're still there, so that when the time comes, you're able to leave and still be sustained without having to worry about how you're going to live your lifestyle. And even if you decide, well, I want to keep my job for the long haul and do coaching on the side, or I want to keep my job and do virtual assisting on the side, you can do that too. Like, you have the freedom to build your lifestyle around your business. You don't have to build the business. Many times we got to make adjustments to our lifestyle for our job. The thing about building a business is you're able to build your business around your life. So you can pretty much map it out the way that you want to map it out.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And I know that there are people, first of all, if there are people out there, you jump on another live and they're telling you to quit your job immediately and with no type of strategy, please get off that live. There's two gurus I don't want y'all listening to. If I'm telling you to immediately quit your job and you have no plan, you have no savings, you have no cushion, because I would hate for you to leave your 9 to 5 then have to go back. I don't want that for you. And also, those telling you can start a business with absolutely no money, again, stay away from those coaches and those gurus, because I just want to be really, really honest with you all. There's always going to be some type of investment in what you do and you want that to look like. It doesn't have to be a large investment. You can start a business with, there are businesses you can start with less than $500 and you can make that money back very, very quickly. But figure out what you want your life to look like, guys. Like, plan it out. If you want to be a full-time entrepreneur, whether it's being a life coach, a virtual assistant, an agency owner, any of that, write out what your monthly bills are. And then I also like to tell people, in addition to your monthly bills, include into that dollar amount what you want your life to look like. Because if you start making more money, you may not want to live in the same house, right? So you need to add that layer. You need to add that cushion. You may not want to dress the same. You need to add that into your budget and what that needs to look like. So write that out. And I don't want it to sound like don't overcomplicate it, because literally I'm just like you all. I'm just like you. People don't know I still actually have my 9 to 5. My life is crazy. First of all, don't be like me. My life is crazy. Like, I do a lot of different things, but again, your 9 to 5.
That's why you're a good virtual assistant.
Like, I do a lot of stuff. But when I started my business, I was in a 9 to 5 that I didn't like. So I just got another 9 to 5 that was making me more money. And it just made more sense. So your story might be like mine. Your story might be like Shanice's. But our goal in telling you this is, you don't have to choose, right? Sometimes in society, they say you have to do one thing. That should be your career for 60 years. You retire at 65. First of all, if you got to wait until 65 to retire, to me, that's not life. Like, I do not want to retire in my 60s when I'm older. I have a timeline where all y'all will see on my Instagram and my social media is me vacationing. So prepare for that. But that's just not life to me. So I'm trying to let you all know there's other avenues, right? There's other ways. Like, some of you all have to unlearn what people have taught you. Some people have told you that you have to stay at a job for 40 plus years to really get the benefits. Well, what if I told you there's another job willing to pay you somewhere else and do the same thing, but pay you more? Different options out there, and that extra money you can invest in your business. And even though I won't tell you all to immediately, quit your 9 to 5 and fire your boss, I will tell you, find something that allows you to feel like you have some ownership over it. Whether it's investing in the stock market, whether it's investing in real estate, whether it's having your own business. I never want you to be in a situation where you can't pay your bills because your 9 to 5 said they didn't need you anymore. Because they will definitely treat you like they don't need you anymore. So I want you to be in a position where you don't need your job anymore. If you wanted to leave, the ultimate goal is to have options and choices. That's what I want for myself. I always have options, I always have choices, and money helps you do that and creates that flexibility and that freedom.
Yes. And I want us to not be afraid to make money. Don't be intimidated by making money, okay? I don't know about you all, but there are a lot of especially like women of faith and women like myself that they don't have conversations about money often. And sometimes when you get to having these type of conversations, people get cringy and uncomfortable. Like, why as Black people, why do we sometimes get so intimidated when it comes down to having money, and when it comes down to talking about money? Like, we gotta stop being so afraid to talk about money. Stop being intimidated by talking about money, because what I've noticed is my brother is in the NFL, for instance, and their tax bracket is a little bit different. And when you start talking to people in that type of tax bracket, the way that they talk about money is so free. It's like, they don't have a problem telling you how to get money. They don't have a problem telling you what to do or what they did or what strategies and what moves they made. Like, the conversation is so different. This is why proximity is so powerful, and who you surround yourself with is so powerful, because the conversations bring out a totally different version of you, where you will start talking to your broke friends and your friends that ain't really doing nothing with their lives, and you start talking about making more money, then they start getting uncomfortable and the conversation just gets weird. You may even have friends that own businesses, and you may ask them, what's this, how much you charge for this? Oh, I gotta let you know. And they can't give you the price outright. Like, their voice starts trembling and voice starts shaking when it's time to give the price. Like, we gotta get out of that mentality as a people and not be afraid to talk about money. Like, money is it makes the world go round. We have to be able to make more money, and we have to be more comfortable with talking about it, because it will not only change your life, but it will change the people's lives that you're talking to, and you never know who's listening. I was in a hair salon, and my hairstylist and I were talking about money. We were talking about credit, and there were some gems that she dropped on me, like just about my business credit and so many other things and opportunities that I could have been taking advantage of as a business owner. And I appreciated her so much for just having a conversation with me about money that people in my normal everyday community wouldn't have had with me, because they just be so intimidated to have that conversation, or they have that crab in the bucket mentality where they don't want you to know any information, because they want to keep you here while they go up here and they make it seem like they know something that you don't. And a lot of us people, we get like that, and we don't have these type of conversations. But the more that you have these type of conversations, where we break the barriers of fear around our people making more money and generating more income, the more that we can move our culture and our people forward. But if we continue to be afraid to tell people things that they can do, there are simple things that you can do. Being a virtual assistant, you already have these skill sets. You have these skill sets. You're doing it on your job right now. Like, you're already doing these things. She's literally telling you how to take what you're already doing and put it into a business structure and get your own clients on your own outside of your job. Being a life coach, it's literally the same thing that you're already doing every single day. You're the go-to girl. You're the strong friend. You're the friend that everybody calls for advice, wisdom, insight. They're already calling your phone anyway. I'm just showing you how to put a structure together so that you can start charging people for what you're already doing for free anyways. It's nothing for us to be intimidated or afraid about. You're using your same skill sets. We're just providing you with the strategy so that you can start generating more income doing what you're already doing for people anyway for free. Makes sense?
Absolutely. And I just wanted to mention, when you talked about hanging around the right people, and when you get to a point where you mention something about your business or your life that you're excited about, and you don't receive that same excitement from the people in your circle, those are the people you need to stop hanging out with. You need to be around people who are pouring into you and feeding you. And I'm so gracious for my social media. People I've never met before on social media who are always sharing my content, which is free, right? Engaging with my content, doing things they don't have to do, or sliding in my DMs and say, hey, I'm doing this for my business. I think this will be a great opportunity for you to do with your business. Those are the type of people you want to be around. And then you should be inspired by your circle. Literally, I talked to a friend 2 weeks ago. He said his goal was to make $500,000 a month. Wow. For him to be okay with where he wants to be. Mind you, he's made $400,000 in a year with his business because he focused. He made that sacrifice and he eliminated things that no longer served him. Yeah. So again, surround yourself around the right people that are going to inspire you and pour into you. And if you ever feel that energy or that emotion where you're feeling jealous, you need to check yourself, because when you see people doing better than you are in a position where you want to be, you should be inspired, and you should pour into that and tap into that and ask them how they can get to where they want to get to. Because a lot of people that are quote unquote successful, many of them want to share their story. They don't mind asking questions in certain platforms and things like that. So get out of the fear of not putting yourself out there to connect with the right people that can also help you. But even within the virtual assistant space, literally, we work with business owners. It's a great opportunity to be able to tap into other business owners. if one entrepreneur that I'm working with on my agency is doing something and I see another entrepreneur having that issue, it's so easy for me to send them additional resources. So like Shanice said, we're all growing. We want to see our community go to new levels. So it's all about connecting and making the right connections.
Yes. One of the ladies said, "God, surround me with women like this." Listen, I'm gonna tell you how you can start connecting with the right people. And as an adult, I'm gonna be honest with y'all. I had some trust issues, right? What God had to do for me is to show me. And I started going to therapy actually once I became a full-time entrepreneur. I started going to therapy, and I'm a huge advocate now for going to therapy, especially for business owners and entrepreneurs. Like, we don't realize how much our mindsets and our emotional state and all of these things can hold us back in business. And I had a lot of breakthroughs in my business simply by going to therapy and breaking through some of the things that I had going on mentally that I didn't even realize was affecting my business and holding me back in business. And once I started making those breakthroughs and really going through that transition in therapy and allowing my therapist to really like break some things down, like, girl, this is why you can't even relinquish control to your virtual assistant. Me and my virtual assistant in the beginning, she had a hard time because I was like, girl, I got it, I can do it. And she's like, you hired me. You need to let go of control. And I had to talk to my therapist, like, listen, I'm having a hard time giving my virtual assistant these assignments because in some things I feel like I can just do it myself. And she had to show me, like, you're holding up the progression of your business because you won't relinquish control to your virtual assistant. You hired this girl and you paying her just to sit there for no reason. So there was some things that I had to break through even in therapy to help me progress in business. And it was in those breakthroughs that I also realized that I had trust issues as an adult, connecting with new people, because certain things that happen in other relationships, certain things that happen with other women, where I was really great at facilitating spaces for other women. I started my women's empowerment movement about 10 years ago. So I've always been the person that facilitated spaces for women, that created spaces for women to collaborate and connect, but I would never get too involved. Like, you would know me, but not know too much about me. Like, I would let y'all close enough to be a part of what I was going on, but I would never really let nobody in. And I really had to go to a place where I'm like, God, I really want meaningful connections. And I want meaningful connections with other women. I want to start building connections with women that are like-minded, that have the same type of goals that I have, that are doing better than me. Like, I want to start surrounding myself with these type of women. But what I had to realize is take a look at myself and realize that I had trust issues. I had a problem letting people in. I had a problem just really like allowing women to get close to me. And God began to show me, like, you facilitate spaces for women, but you are not being the type of woman that you're encouraging them to be. And it takes a real hard look in the mirror to look at yourself and say, I don't want to be the type of person that is preaching, teaching, and encouraging people to be a certain way that I'm not myself. So I had to really go to therapy and really pray about this thing. Like, God really helped me to start facilitating healthy relationships with women that are growing at the same pace as me, and that are growing even higher than I am. And it was really that hard look in the mirror, really seeing what was I contributing to these spaces that allowed me to start connecting with the type of women that you see me connect with, and being open to having conversation, being open to going out to dinner, being open to going out to brunch. Most of the time it's just me and my husband, and that's really was like my only friend. And God sent somebody to me and was like, go to brunch with her. The girl wrote me to go to brunch. I was like, I'm talking too fast, I'm sorry. The girl wrote me to go to brunch, and I was like, I don't know. I'm really not sure if I want to go to brunch with her. And, I just felt iffy because of my own issues. And I really had to break that barrier down and say, okay, let me hear me. I'm back.
Yep, you good.
Okay, good. And I really had to open myself up to being open to just going to brunch, just going to lunch, and realizing not everybody's out to get you, sis. Like, not everybody's out to do you wrong. Not everybody's out to do the thing that the last person did. And I've been meeting, where can we meet? I've been meeting women on Instagram, women that are doing the same things that I'm doing. I've been connecting in those spaces. I go to women's empowerment events. I'm at the Zoom meetings and all of these things, and I'm connecting with other women, just putting myself in the room. So sometimes you just got to put yourself in the room. My coaching program has a coaching community as well. We actually relaunching Her Coach Hive, which is our hive and our community of women like myself that are building in faith, business, and lifestyle. So I encourage you to join my community. I encourage you to join Annalisa's community if you're interested in being a virtual assistant. But there are a lot of communities out here. Don't be afraid to put yourself in these communities. Don't be afraid to go to the webinars. Don't be afraid to go to the master classes and the all the meetups and empowerment events that people have, even if you have to go by yourself. So sometimes your friends ain't gonna want to go with you. Put yourself in the room by yourself if you have to, and start meeting people, start connecting with people. Be open. If it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out. It's almost like dating, but you're dating for friendship, for connections. If it doesn't work out, if they not your cup of tea, they not your cup of tea. No hard feelings, and keep it moving. But don't close yourself off to building meaningful relationships, because there are other people out there that have so much more to offer you beyond what you are familiar with.
And for all the fellow introverts out there, because I'm an introvert, y'all hear me talk about it all the time. I always do things that I really don't feel like doing, but I know my purpose is definitely bigger than me just wanting to be comfortable and not wanting to get on live, not wanting to create content and things like that. So all the introverts out there, you have to push yourself. You have to push yourself and put yourself out there. You have to say, I'm going to go on live. I'm going to connect with this person. I'm going to slide in this person's DMs. Maybe they won't see it. Maybe they will. But to get to where you want to get to, and honestly, the faster way, the faster track to get to where you want to get to is usually through other people. That whether it's through your 9-to-5, through promotion, or whether it's within your business and getting it from 6 figures to 7 figures or anything like that, it's usually the quicker way to get there is through other people. You may have a seasoned mentor to have more information and things like that, but you literally have to push yourself. You can look on Eventbrite. You can look at Eventbrite in your area and see what events. Search, I don't know, women empowerment, social clubs, any of those things. There's usually like Dallas social clubs. I live in Dallas and things like that. So they have different communities out there. They exist, but are you looking for them? Because I know y'all smart. Are you looking for them? So if you actively try to look for these groups, I guarantee you will find something to go to, something to attend, some type of networking event where you can speak about your business, speak about yourself, but be ready to. So once you get on this path of transformation, I'm just telling you all, I'm just warning you all that some people that are not on the same path as you, you may not be able to hang with them anymore. They may continue to be pessimistic when you want to do something differently than you were doing in the past. They may not get it. So when you start branching out and doing more that's going to improve and better yourself, just know that you may have to leave people behind. So you need to accept that before you start that journey. You may have to have some really, really difficult conversations with people who are not going in the same direction that you're going. And that is okay. I'm here to tell you that is okay. There are other women, there are other people on this other side that are ready to support you, that want you to be successful.
Another great way to start connecting with other people, I know this might be intimidating to you all, but especially for my women of empowerment that God has called you to start empowering and impacting the lives of other people. A great way for you to make connections with other people is to start sharing your story. To start sharing your story and your truth on your platform, and you'll be very surprised. I don't care if you got 100 followers. I don't care if you got 2 followers. I don't care if one person come on the live or nobody shows up to the live, and you just say the live. You never know who's going to go back and watch it and who's going to resonate with you and resonate with your story. I have built amazing connections with people and with other women simply by sharing my story. Simply by sharing my truth, and simply by sharing what God has called me to do on my own platform. And a lot of people come to me, desiring to connect with me just by me being authentic and sharing my story and sharing my truth. So in addition to getting into these rooms and to getting into these spaces and going to these different events and all of these things, you also can start sharing your story, start sharing glimpses of your life, and how you're building your lifestyle on your platform. And there are going to be people that come to you. They're going to flock to you. They're going to want to know what you're doing and start building relationships and connections with you. So don't be afraid to share your story, your truth, because there's always somebody else that can resonate with it.
Absolutely. And especially if you are in those beginner stages, document the process. It's going to be all a part of your testimonial. So when you want to come out with a program or anything like that, it's all documented. That was one thing that I probably should have done a better job of, just literally documenting the process. Who is your first client? Write it out. What did that experience feel like? Write it out. Anytime you're stressed or you feel that you're at your lowest, journal, write those thoughts out, pray about it, like document this entire process, because I just want you to know, your life can change in 6 months, your life can change in a year. It can do a complete 360. And you want to, it's okay to reflect on things that didn't go so well, right?
Mm-hmm.
To grow, to see where you were before and be a lot more grateful to where you are now.
Mm-hmm. I love what I do love about the transition and the way content has transitioned over this last year, with people showing a little bit more glimpses into their lifestyle. Is it's such an authentic way for people to start connecting with you through your lifestyle, whether they want to live that type of lifestyle or they share similarities in that lifestyle. And when you say document your process, one of the things that I tell my clients, when you first become a life coach, you may not start off, having life coaching clients or even virtual assistant clients right out the gate. But if you start sharing your process, you are going to attract people that need what it is that you have and what it is that you're doing. So if I'm a life coach that helps other people build their confidence and build their self-confidence, then I need to show my process of how I'm building my self-confidence. If I got to be my first client, if I got to take myself through my process first and be my first client and start sharing with other people, this is how I'm doing it for myself. This is how I'm building my self-confidence. I'm showing you little glimpses in my reels, little glimpses in my story of the affirmations that I'm saying to myself every day, the work that I'm putting in, me working out, taking care of my body. Maybe I changed my diet. If you're a fitness coach and you want to get your first fitness client, sometimes you got to start with being your first client. Maybe you need to start showing them your diet, your regimen, your workout routine that you are currently using, so that other people can say, oh my gosh, like I need what you're doing. I need what you have. And those people would be more inclined to come in and connect with you, and maybe actually come in and be a client of yours. So if you're a virtual assistant or a coach that's trying to figure out, how do I get my first client? Document your process. Show the people what you're currently doing in your day-to-day. If you're a virtual assistant, start showing the people how are you staying on task with what the work that you have to do. There's still work that you have to do to build your business. Start showing them, this is what I'm doing. And since if I'm doing it for myself, this is what I can do for you. Be your first client. If you are a life coach trying to figure out, how do I get my first coaching client? Whatever your niche is, start doing it for yourself first and document your process. Show them in your reels how it's being done. Show them in your stories how it's being done. And start showing them how it's going to be happening for them as you are doing it, so that they are more inclined to jump on board and have the same type of results happen for them as well. And then you can start getting your testimonials and things like that. But sometimes we don't start off with a bunch of people running us down to get our services. So you got to be your first client. They want to see the example through you. If you are the confidence building coach, I need to see you showing up with confidence. Show me your process of how you're showing up with confidence. Does that mean showing up looking your best? Does that mean always showing up on your P's and Q's every single time? My clients are on their P's and Q's. Why? Because I show up on my P's and Q's. Because I'm my first client. I'm going to show up on point every single time. Every time you see me grace the gram, you're going to understand that I'm showing up 100%. And my clients going to do the same thing. They can expect the same type of results because that's what I'm doing for me first. So do it for you first, and then people are more inclined to join you. You become a magnet for the thing that you are. So you got to be it first, and then you become the magnet for what you are. Period.
I love that. No, that's being your first client. I think that's excellent advice, especially even those that's in the virtual assistant program. Because I'm gonna be honest with you all. Some of you got through the content, you got through the course, but you may have not gotten the client just
Yeah.
yet. I'm going to challenge you in saying that God will give you what you are completely prepared for. So you may need to be your first client. You may need to take the knowledge you learned from the class and from the course and apply it to your life so you can be completely confident to get that high paying client.
Mm-hmm.
You understand the knowledge, you comprehended the knowledge, but you need to apply it to something. So
Yeah.
apply your life, how you manage your day-to-day life, utilize different programs, project management tools, implement that into your life, and then you can then do that for another client.
Ooh, that's so good. That is so good, y'all. That is so good right there. Like, do it for yourself first, and that will give you that boost in confidence that you need to do it for somebody else. Because you can't say, I'm going to teach you how to build your confidence. I'm going to teach you how to transform your life. And then you still second guessing yourself. You still have that self-doubt, that imposter syndrome. You can't help somebody get over what you ain't already gotten over. So you got to walk through your process yourself and show them, look, I've done it for myself. The process is proven, and now I'm going to help you do the same. So before we go, is there anything that you would say, Annalisa, to anybody that is desiring, whether it's starting a life coaching business or starting a virtual assistant business, just getting in business in general, start doing some things for them? Our badges are on. So if any of this was good to y'all, make sure y'all grab a badge, and we appreciate any seeds that you sow because these businesses are fertile ground for seed sowers, okay? But if there's anything that you want to say to anybody that is, a little bit fearful or hesitant about making that step into whether it's full-time entrepreneurship or part-time, what would you say to them?
Well, one, the fact that you even have a thought process or you even have a thought in your head that you want to start something and do something new, that should be at least enough encouragement for you to actually do it. Because there are some people out there who they're not entrepreneurs, and that's okay. They can make their money in other ways, but the fact that you have that thought process that you want to do that, go ahead and do it, and you can do it fearful. We've all started fearful, and we all started at zero. Okay, we all started at zero. I've had 0 followers before. I've had 100 followers before, and I still got clients having under 1,000 followers. So don't look, and I just tweeted this earlier, don't connect your follower account or any type of popularity to determine if something's going to be successful.
Yes.
Right? I know people who have had 5-figure months. They don't have that many followers on social media platforms. Social media is great, but there's still other ways to connect to people outside of social media as well. So go ahead and start it before you talk yourself out of it is what my recommendation would be, because you talking yourself out of it, that's the fear. That's the fear you're letting sit in. And if you're not ready to tell anybody what you want to do pertaining to a business, then don't tell them until you're ready. If you already have in your head that I don't want to tell this person because they're going to tell me it's not a good idea, don't tell them. If you know it's not a good idea, then don't tell them. If you know it's a good idea, just do it. Because a lot of you you're fantasizing these 6-figure dreams, these 7-figure lifestyles, and you're not doing anything about it. And you're operating like tomorrow's promise. So, and I've challenged this question on live before. If you left this earth right now today, would you be happy with the life that you left? Do you feel like you would be celebrated in your true passions and your true talents? Do you feel like you maximize your skill set while you were on this earth? Mm-hmm. And that's not a question you have to answer to me. You have to look at yourself in the mirror every single day to determine if you gave that day 150%.
Yeah.
Because the TV show that you're watching out, it's still gonna be there. It is still gonna be there, okay? That the things that you want to do with going out all the time, they're still gonna be there. But do that after you're successful. Do that after you reach your goals.
Right.
So I just want to look at me as an example. Like, you can change your life very, very quickly. Again, the difference between me is I kept going. I was very consistent. And I don't care about the word no. Literally, the word no doesn't live in my life.
Period.
So I continue to make it happen. So you need to figure out what that looks like for you.
Mm-hmm. I love that you said that, because my mom always says that about me. Like, I don't take no for an answer, period. Like, I will find another way. That just means that you're not the solution. Like, I need to move you to the side and find somebody else that can do it. I don't accept no for an answer ever. And I always say that fear or nervousness about making a decision about something that you know you should be doing and something that you know that God is calling you to, that fear of making that decision is usually comes from a lack of preparation and a lack of information. And the reason why many of us have that nervousness about, should I go into this? How is it going to work out? What if it doesn't work? Sometimes it's not the lacking belief in the system, it's the lacking belief in yourself and you actually being able to do the work to get it done and to see those results. And you have to really get to the place where you put yourself in the position to get the necessary tools, strategies and information that you need to make valuable decisions to transform your life. So if you are feeling fearful about becoming a life coach, but you know that this is something that God has called you to, if you're feeling fearful about becoming a virtual assistant, but you know that it's something that's been pulling on your heartstrings to do, you need to put yourself into these programs so that you get the information and the preparation that you need to do it in excellence. The reason why you're fearful and you're afraid is because the truth of the matter is, if you were to jump and go and do it by yourself without the proper preparation and without the proper information, you probably would fail. So you being afraid to fail is because you just don't have the right information. But we've already gone through a process that is proven. So it makes more sense for you to invest in a process that is already proven to get you the results, and stop being afraid and stop being intimidated, so that you have the proper information and the proper preparation to succeed in this thing that you know that God is calling you to. So that's my take on those that are being afraid. We have shared so much.
Yeah.
So much information. I always say, I don't want to be the person that leaves this earth with a notebook full of ideas and a heart full of what ifs. I don't want, I'm a writer, so I write out a lot of my visions. I write out a lot of ideas. Some of those things I've already done. Some of them I haven't gotten to yet, but I don't want to leave this earth with piles and piles of notebooks of ideas and what ifs and things I could have done, things I should have done, gifts I knew I had but I never tapped into. I want to leave here full. I want to leave here empty out. Empty me out. Let me accomplish everything that I gotta accomplish, so that y'all can say that girl lived her life. That girl did everything that she said she was going to do. Okay, that's the type of lifestyle that we want to live. I want to say thank you so much to every person that has joined us on this live, every person that purchased the badge. For y'all that don't know who I am, again, my name is Coach Royal, also known as Shanice Royal. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a sister, I'm a minister, I'm a life coach, but I train and certify other life coaches. I help women of empowerment increase in income and an impact as a life coach. On Thursday, tomorrow night, I'm hosting my first free webinar of the year, and I'm going to be showing you exactly how to increase your impact and your income as a life coach. So you want to click the link in my bio, register for the free webinar, and I have a lot that I want to show y'all. It's a full blueprint of exactly how I have increased my impact from literally a local empowerment event to a global impact and full six-figure life coaching business. So make sure you click the link in my bio, join the free webinar. Annalisa, let them know how they can support you, anything that you got going on your end to become a virtual assistant.
Yeah, so anyone on the live right now who's maybe currently not in my virtual assistant program and you're interested, I too do have a webinar tomorrow as well on how to make money from anywhere as a virtual assistant, where I ask questions. I do have free content available on all of my social media platforms to answer a lot of questions people have pertaining to be a virtual assistant. I'm gonna go ahead and let y'all know I have the best virtual assistant program out there. I will stand on that mountain. I will stand on that hill. I have a community of amazing people who are doing very, very well, who are just really taking control of their lives and making more money as a virtual assistant, making that 4 to 5 figures a month as a virtual assistant. So as Shanice mentioned, it's really just talking about taking your skill set and what you're already knowledgeable about doing, and then implementing that and creating that virtual assistant business for yourself. So that is what I offer within my virtual assistant program. And if you're a business owner out there looking for a virtual assistant, we actually are currently accepting clients who may need assistance from an admin or social media standpoint. If you're interested in us sending you some case studies on some of the clients we work with, we can do that as well. But the best way to contact me is, there's links in my bio. I have a website, www.elevatedassist.com. And then also, I'm very friendly actually for the most part, and then I have an assistant. So if y'all want to slide in my DMs, I will definitely keep it real with y'all to figure out if it's good for you and if it's not. So.
Period. Awesome. So our custom here, I know a lot of y'all are new here on my side, but our custom here is to pray us out. So if y'all all right with that, I'm going to just pray us out really quick before we go. And just pray that you all have a blessed and abundant rest of the year. I pray that this year is the year that we increase in impact and in income in our businesses. So we're going to pray out, and then we're going to let y'all go. Dear Heavenly Father, we just want to say thank you so much for this live. I thank you for this amazing vessel that you allowed to go live with me tonight. God, we just give your name the praise, the glory, and the honor. We say thank you for the jewel that she is, the purpose that you've given her, the work that she has done that has impacted so many lives and so many women. God, we just say thank you for putting us in a position where we are able to increase in impact, increase in income, that you are taking us to the next level in our lives, taking us to the next level in our confidence, Lord God. You are giving us the ingenuity, the skill set, the information, the tools, the strategy to make it happen. And we just say thank you. We honor you. We glorify you. We magnify you. We pray that you are pleased with our work. We pray that you are pleased with the work that we do for your people, and that we do it in the spirit of excellence. We give your name the praise, glory, and honor. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen, amen, amen. So thank y'all so much for joining us. Have a blessed night.
You too.
We'll see y'all next time. We need to do this again, girl.
Yeah, just let me know. I'll hop on live with you.
Period. All right, see y'all later. Good night.